December 22nd, 2023, Marcus Giovanni here. Here's a letter I received, a cease and desist by the City Attorney's Office. Michael B. Hancock, Mayor, September 14, 2022. I was running for mayor. So don't think they don't come after you. Behind the scene, and the media doesn't say anything, ABC, CBS, NBC. They keep it all quiet because of their sub-biasness they have for everybody. But in this, it came to their attention that I was using the name of the City and County of Denver, attempting to be associated with the City and County of Denver without permission authorization. I denied that. I have a complete answer, but I'm doing a video one of it. But you can see how I actually answered each one of these. I broke them down to something like 22 Q&A. As you may be aware, I filed complaints of unauthorized and fraudulent use with YouTube as a violation of their terms on March 2019. I never knew who did it. Google doesn't tell anybody. So when they said that, as you may be aware, I wasn't aware of that. See, she couldn't help but tell me that she was the culprit behind closing something that it wasn't even named the City and see, YouTube agreed and shut off the channel named the City and County of Denver. That is not what it was called, folks. It was the City and County of Denver. So right then, when she did that, I knew. And throughout this whole document, you'll see where, oh, you started City and County of Denver LLC. I'm allowed to. City and County of Denver, you have your .govs. That's how you're the government. We're citizens. You don't control us. And on February 6th, in Denver District Courtroom 414, presiding Judge Andrew Luxon, case number 23CV54 against Paul Lopez, clerk and recorder. City attorneys stepped in front of the judge. I waited 13 years, no media, none of the identifiers that were, and you can hold them in two hands, folks, of all the top people. I didn't need to hit everyone. I just needed to hit the top ones. And we indexed all their content they created because we know that FCC regulated broadcasters, those people's voices are indexed over those that are not in regards to their level of authority. And because their company, their broadcast company is FCC regulated and other regulations, they can't escape it. So now we can pattern match the what they say, and then AI can, do some other back end scanning to look to see if that person is actually who they claim to be. Can they really produce what they say? Have they really been where they've been? And now with GPS, cell phone tower pings, and voice latent prints, the new 3 digital DNA tools that are going to revolutionize the way people do cloud extraction for people who have devices that looked up anything that has to do with crimes. And so what happens is artificial intelligence automatically takes these people that uses these search words and they index it on that person, because why would a person want to know how to dispose of a body or whatever? And in 2017, a law enforcement officer group heard about cloud extractions, and they were able to, in 2017, because they couldn't get, the guy cleaned his computer, and all they had was circumstantial evidence, and in 2017, they were able to extract from the cloud the voice searches, and then they found out that they could get the type searches too. So from it's just, it's going to be to where AI is going to be able to notify the police when the police set their alerts correctly, of a crime that is about to happen. give you the players' names, everything. Hey, man, these people right here are talking about. But they, to even get somebody to sit down and talk to somebody in their IT departments to get through this stuff, it's way over their head, and they're not going to take any type of accountability or any type of liability on saying what I say or what we do works or not works. But the fact that we're here is all we need to know. So anyway, so it was my legal right to have city and county and the state name of the City and County of Denver LLC. Another lie. I mean, my company's called City and County of Denver LLC. Then you say, you filed with the Colorado Secretary of State the name of the City and County of Denver LLC. Even if I did, it's the name of the LLC, not that, but I didn't. It's City and County of Denver LLC. You purchased two URL addresses, cityandcountyofdenver.com and cityandcountyofdenver.net 420. Again, using the name, the City and County of Denver, for yourself or your business. I do not know how much of your complaint or YouTube finding was relayed to you, but the city filed objection to your account because fraudulent uses arises to a crime in Colorado. Fraudulent use rises to a crime in Colorado. More recently, YouTube channels featured, both were representing themselves as City County, which labeled afterwards as LLC. Another lie, okay? Another lie. These people, I wish I could really just be street and drop some F-bombs and pointing fingers and just like, this letter is being written to inform you that you are violating the City and County of Denver's intellectual property by your use of the name, the City and County. There she is again, another lie. I don't did say. This lady is so dangerous for the citizens of Denver. I've caught her nothing but lies. Her mouth needs to be washed out with soap, man. That's how much of a, I can't even say it because it's don't call names. What do you call a person like this, folks? And what do you call the mayor who's top of the page that put her up to this? And it says, without some designated distinction, making it clear that you're not affiliated with the city government entity. For example, if you wanted to name your business Nelson Giovanni of the City and County of Denver, that would not be objectable, as it would be designate you as a separate entity. Stealing or attempted to steal a corporate entity name identity of the city provided by the Colorado Constitution not only injures the city, but potentially injures the citizen. Blah, blah, blah. If it does not receive tax payments, now they're accusing me that I'm going to start taking checks. And I told them I don't even have a bank account because I knew this was all coming, all of this. They are so easily read, but now what happens is now I got them on paper. She couldn't help her. She thought she could linguistic twist me. I don't even have a high school diploma. Is that what you guys want to hear? Ha ha ha, oh, Giovanni, what happened? Oh, he got expelled from school. Yeah, I didn't quit. I took on the biggest bully in the school. And they used the spit because it was all white people, and they thought he was going to come back and kill them all. I remember running into him when I had my nightclub. My buddies found him. He was working at a car company, and he apologized to me. He said he was sorry and that I kicked his ass royally, and he deserved it. True story, folks. Nelson versus the United States of America, a system in denial. Told by a guy that's telling a story the best he could based off his education level, and all these people that can't even get, who go to school and spend all this money, can't even get published, and they got to come and attack me for my works when I lost my twin daughters. Nobody wants to talk about that. This is what it is. This is what people do to me, man. It doesn't matter. But these people are dangerous. And now everybody knows. All the lawyers, all the judges. You don't think I've told everybody? So, and the judges that I haven't told, I'm not supposed to tell. They got to find out on themselves because judges have to clean up their own chambers. It's not my job. No, no, but what we can do is introduce that to them some unbelievable deep mind platforms that'll make their whole entire lives easier. Every case, they can go up and talk to their computer, and every case just pops up. The time for them to have to type is over. And then they'd have to tell everybody to give all their cell phones to the clerk, and they put it in a box. And though now that box cannot be penetrated. Those cell phones are all now incommunicado, excommunicado. I don't know how that works. Anyways, this is what I do, folks. Trying to get people to understand the severity of what's coming. And when you think about the person that's telling you this, it should scare the out of you. But instead, they turn more and more evil. Here's the second page. The city and county of Denver, when in fact you are more mere individual and detrimental to our citizens, if you have received any such payments, you must refund them immediately to the persons who were misled into misdirecting their tax payment to you. Another bullshit, false accusation, man. What a skank. I'm sorry. What do you call a person like that? They're accusing me of see, this is what they do. In addition, you must immediately cease and desist using the name the City and County of Denver. I've never used it. There goes another lie. Man, this chick's nose must be longer than a donkey's beak. As your professional or business name, even with the suffix LLC for any purpose, and withdraw the name from Secretary of State from your URL use. The City and County of Denver does not authorize you. See? Where does this girl, what is she, eighth grade? I don't even have a high school diploma. I'm chewing this up. And now the whole world's seeing it. All the judges and YouTube and Google, they're all watching how far you guys will go to destroy a human, man. I mean, this is bad, folks. They do it to everybody. The good news is now other law enforcement, other people, judges that know in order for them to save the halls of justice, they're going to have to take care of some of the bad people within their chambers. And for us, it's really none of our business. It's information that we shouldn't have to deal with. I mean, that's HR department stuff. And we use reversed HR techniques to flush out people that claim to be able to do what they say they're going to do, and we're authorized to do it. I've been waiting a while to send this, to make this little video for what they've been accusing me of. See, then they get me down to here. As such, it carries with it specified legal consequences up here. Then it goes into impersonating a public servant. I am aware you have registered as a candidate to run for mayor. There it is. However, merely candidacy, sorry, it's hard to read. I can't read it on my phone, it's too small, so I gotta look up there and hold the phone at the same time. The reason why I hold my phone is so that way I get some really good scores and rankings for putting in the true equity and the sweat needed in order to have my video be relevant to whatever it is I'm talking about. That's how that works, folks. Here, I'm aware you, anyways, mere candidacy does not make you a government employee or official authorized act on behalf of the city. While the city and county of Denver has immediate legal recourse given the unauthorized use in its name, we are initially taking a more lenient approach. You know why? Because they tried to go and hit YouTube again, and they told them to go beat feet. That's what happened, folks. Now they're going to be lenient. Oh, well, yeah, we're not going to call YouTube and do sneaky shit like we did before. No, we're gonna make you. Oh yeah, these guys, man, it just makes me want to puke. So it says a more lenient approach and requesting you cease and desist from calling yourself. Here it is, folks, the city and county of Denver. This is who you have representing your city, going after citizens who are trying to make a difference, trying to make a betterment. The only citizen that has battled these guys for 60 years. Oh yeah, I sleep with one eye open, but I don't have to grip my pillow tight. And all my neighbors, they're all on lockdown. 3, 4 deep, 4 deep. Streets, folks. And we're tired of getting hijacked. We're tired of the homeless. We're tired of all your bullshit, all your promises of eradicating. I've watched it for 17 fucking years. Look at that. On the city and county of Denver, on any platform or in any media whatsoever within 15 days, you may, of course, truthfully represent yourself as a candidate for the city and county of Denver or for mayor of the city and county of Denver. Whoa, if I did this for mayor of the city and county of Denver, oh my gosh, folks. Oh man, but I didn't. I'm going to save that. But you may not misrepresent yourself as being the government entity, the city and county of Denver. If you do not immediately cease and desist from misuse of the name, the city will be forced to pursue other options not limited to legal action in order to protect the citizens and government entity that is the city and county of Denver. If you or your legal counsel have any questions, I will be happily respond to the above address phone number. I sent Lori Heidemann. Heidemann? God, too close to Hyder to me. Anyways, I answered back, folks, and I dissected every one of those sentences. And one of the things that you don't understand is what she didn't understand is that there's designated web pages for them to buy. It's called denver.gov, not denvergov.org, which is a Denver government organization, which isn't part of the government family of how we do things, which is going to cause them to start, when they flip that switch, I don't know when they're going to flip it. Eventually, they're going to have to flip it no matter who's in power, just like the IRS. They're cocked, loaded, and they're loaded, cocked, and ready to go. And they have absolute power, and they don't need to call anybody to come in and defend them at a gun battle. These are going to be highly trained taxmen and women that cometh. And one of the things that are coming now for these people that now, because of Andrew Luxon and my court case, February 6th, I used his meta tags. He needs to ask his and I put it in all my complaint. I wrote code in my complaint, so when it was digitized, all of our content would migrate to it, or it will migrate to our content. And see, being Andrew Luxton, this is what artificial intelligence does now. And lawyers, and then when they realize that you can pretty much find out what people are talking about in the public domain just by doing some whoop-de-woo. I call it whoop-de-woo. So, and so this is what the police, the sheriffs, like if I was mayor right now, folks, we would clean house. Bye-bye. We would make super administrators where we have, like right now, they have a department head for every little thing. And then you think about like the IT people, the guys in the election department. You know, what do they do all year for 4 years. What do they do for, I mean, or every 2 years? I mean, what do they do? What do they do? There's a lot of wasted labor hours there, folks, and I've got a HR tool that we can flush all that out, and that's what I would have introduced at Denver. So this way, we're creating more people. Like if there's 15 people in the election department, then you're gonna and when it can be ran by 2 people, except when it comes to the actual election counting and all that. So then you just hire people and then pay them $100 an hour to come into work because you didn't have to pay them all year. So paying them $100 an hour is still way cheaper than having them work 40 hours a week and then every 2 years sit mute. And what I would do is because I would mayor, I could take it to the HR department and show them, and they'd be just like, it's not biased, folks. See, New York doesn't want our type of applications in there just so you can pick the best team based off merits and ability. They want people to pick teams based off color, based off race, based off of low income, based on never had a chance. That's like NFL, and I'm waiting for it. For them to start putting players in there that have never played football at quarterback because he wants to play quarterback. That's almost like Mark Zuckerberg, blue belt, put the MMA world upside down. He almost took complete control of that conversation. They don't know this stuff because they do what they do. We are the throw before the toss. We're in charge of the conversation blocks of what we do in our metaverse, just like everybody else does in their metaverse. And depending how you Dewey Decibel system it. But this ain't that, folks. This is some really bad lying. They made YouTube cancel my channel when it wasn't illegal. But the way she said it, I had to go and make it legal. In other words, City and County of Denver, LLC, cityandcountyofdenver.com, .net, .org, where the citizens own it. Brilliant. Because I knew that Andrew Luxon concurred with another corrupt city attorney, Michelle Horn, when I asked about the Spear Amendment, knowing I was digitizing the whole entire process. And this is over their pay grade. See, the judges need a guy like me teaching them what they need to do to raise their knowledge bar. So the more and more that they don't want to learn because they don't have to, because they think they're judges. And folks, there are some good judges. I think Brian Whitney is a very good judge, especially when everybody was lying to him. And he just couldn't make sense. He's just like, I saw it in his face, man. He wouldn't make a very good poker player. I saw it in his face. That's what I do. I do voice recognition. Twitch your face and I'll tell you what it means. And so what happens is all their voices, I know, are being indexed. They don't know this because they're judges. And they don't need to know it in their world because they're judges. But in the metaverse, they're nothing. They're just nothing. It's whatever they say they are and what their pattern match and their meta tags bring them to. So in the metaverse, when you're bringing your game, you better have the meta tags to back it up. You better know that artificial intelligence, though it does not see there's nobody actually looking at it happens so fast that you can't even. It's the computer god. And that came about with Black Sabbath, 1992. I was being dehumanized, as we're seeing a president and the office of the President of the United States being dehumanized in front of our adversaries and in front of our allies. And see, our allies and our adversaries are outsiders looking in. And they see a huge boil ready to pop. They see that their politicians aren't even ranking in the 25% tile. They see that all their schools are failing in education and everything that made us great. And you see now people are supporting the wrong people, and they're in the schools supporting the wrong people, and the wrong people that are the principals and in the Denver public school systems. They're the most vile administrators I have ever met in my entire life. Most vile, dangerous. And see what the good news is? We indexed them all. My kids went there. I was homeschooling. They were polite, they were kind, they were gentle. They said thank you. They opened the door for people. Yeah. And then I was ordered by the court to put them in public schools. And I knew right then, I felt like I got hit in the nuts, man. I felt so sick to my stomach. I went home and cried because I knew what these slime balls did, man. And my kids, man, my kids were accused of some things that I know they didn't do. But this is what they do. This is what they try to do to try to get me to be reactionary, like I'm some violent guy. No. If you come harm me, trust me, I know you're coming. Believe me. Believe me when I tell you that. And they ain't gonna happen. Believe me. Um, I find out everything, folks. And it's time to teach other people how to find out everything, so that the Denver citizens can be the most powerful group of individuals based off our merits and our abilities, where we can tear down 6 homes, where there's 12 cars, and put one home with somebody that's moving in that's saying, hey, I can pay for that. But instead we focus on the poor and the poor, and they're all moving here, and all the migrants are moving here, and it's a big boil on our mayor's ass, and it's about to pop. Luckily he wears pants and nobody can see it, but I'm telling you, it's festering, folks. The city attorney's office is festering. When you think about the movements of some of the people they've let go and they've hired, it's all in the cloud. Every conversation, every text, man, everything, because they are prosecutors. They're the ones that are supposed to uphold the law and take us through are protecting us all. And so all of their content's in the cloud. And I think that's been like that for the last at least 10 years. So when you know how to do what we do, and you can garnish, and there's people better than me, folks, believe me. But when I teach our team what we're doing, they're going to be able to go, oh, I get it, Giovanni. I get it, Durango Dank. I get it. And they're going to take their minds where my mind had been for 17 years. We're not going to look back. We don't have time. There's no rear view mirror on this spacecraft, man. It's all forward thinking, forward movement. There's no looking back. There's none of that. We don't have time to look at the history. We have to look at the future. History just causes us to stagnate and worry about what happened in the past, instead of just using artificial intelligence, using Google and using YouTube as your primary care providers of the internet. That's what I call them. Primary care, because they care about you. They care about your privacy, and there's only so much that they can do to where they can't self-regulate themselves. They create their own terms and conditions, and then they allow people like us, GoogleBusinessDeveloper.com. And see, we're just now starting to get people to talk about it. It's been a long time, but we're using Google My Business Developer because that is no longer being used. That's the management company. We have different levels of people, and this is some serious stuff, folks. We're talking about starting pay of $30 an hour. We're going to be able to hire, with just the for sale by owner company, the GP7A attorneys directory, when this whole asset protection thing that we're doing, excuse me, we also do golf tournaments. starsandstripesgolftournament.com. You know, and it appears like I'm making all this money. I don't do anything, folks. I don't make nothing. I get paid to do what I have to do. But there's no glamour in what we do. We just do it so that we can make our words match our meta tags and our meta descriptions through GPS, cell phone tower pings, what we email, what we text. And it's hard. And it's hard not to call names to certain people that are destroying us, like this woman, Lori. You know, is this the kind of stuff that we, look what they're doing to Trump. This is the new norm. And but you know what? I'm old man. See, Trump's got money. He'll have the Secret Service. He's got all that stuff, man. But it's going to stop before that, because judges have to, the Supreme Court especially, they got to put a stop to this foolishness. We got to bring mom and dad back home. We need to send those people that were unvetted to our country, that just like Cuba, when they sent the Cuba crisis, most of those people were all the worst criminals they had in Cuba out of their jails. See, nobody wants to talk about it because it's already boom. But now we're at a point now where, you have to send them back. And I'm telling you right now, 100% positively, that the Homeland Security and other federal agencies, they don't care. They're sending these people back. And they're relying on citizens to keep a tab on these people. They can't go against saying things. Their actions, you can look it up. You can go to Homeland Security and get alerts, and you'll find out everything that they're doing. They're the saving grace of the United States government right now. And I just hope, and I would say I hope and pray, but I fall beyond prayer. Now I can communicate with the computer god and bring out people that do bad things to our government to where they stay in power. But this woman here, she should lose her law license and be put in charges, criminal charges. And think about all the judges, all the cases she's ever worked on. There's so many lies in this thing right here. And she doesn't even know that I have every right to get cityandcountyofdenver.com. That alone tells you it's not the government. Regardless if I called it the City and County of Denver LLC. That's my right too, because I'm describing what I am. And we have cityandcountyofdenver.llc. And so everything that you try to circumvent with your storytelling and your writing was written as if you were in 8th grade, man. And so if I was the mayor right now, your ass would be fired and you would be sitting on some criminal charges.